Hi, my name is Jordan Keao. I'm the chef de cuisine here at Butcher's Block, Singapore. So I was born and raised in Hawaii where everybody hunts, fishes, kind of farms, live off the land. So I never thought of it as a career until I got older and I started to travel. And then I realized that I could actually do this as a profession, which was quite exciting as a young kid. Gotta have my coffee before I start the fire. So right now, just moving around the coals, it's left over from last night. So you can feel it's still super hot, even though it's been off for 12 hours. We just use charcoal to get it started. Once it's started, wood takes over and it's all wood powered after that. I started my career at 18 and started going to culinary school. At the same time, I was working for a pretty well-known chef around the world for regional Hawaiian cuisine, Roy Yamaguchi. I worked for him while I was in culinary school, doing both at the same time, and I think that really sped up my progress because I was working and going to school at the same time. Here at Butcher's Block, the primary cuisine and focus of the restaurant is wood fire. Everything is tailored around wood fire, and of course my background being from Hawaii, there's a lot of Hawaiian influence in the menu. And because we do all of our own butchery, whether it's plants, animals, fish, sustainability is a very, very big part of the restaurant, and zero waste. So once the coals start lighting on fire, I can start topping up the wood. It's important when you're working with wood fire that when you stack and you build, you don't smother the fire. Oxygen is really important to help the fire grow. So when I stack my wood, I spread it out, stack it crisscross-wise so that there's even airflow all the way through. And then this will get the fire going. So this is our local farm that just got delivered. Obviously it's nice to work with local produce, but it's also important when we get the ingredients, something like this, we actually have to water it and maintain it. So we got some mustard frill, some baby radish, our crispy lettuce, and then we'll display and grow it in the restaurant, and then we'll pretty much cut what we need as we need it. For butchery, I have about 10 years of experience butchering. There's a lot of respect on how you're going to utilize that ingredient, not waste anything when it comes to butchering an animal. And as you're doing it, you already have a plan of what you're going to use each piece and each part for. And I think that's very, very important, is having the plan so that when the animal does come in, you already know where everything is going. It's all mapped out and ready to go. So experience is key, but planning ahead is very, very important. So this is the lamb that we get from Margaret River. We age it for 1 to 2 to maybe even 3 weeks before we start to butcher it. And then when we butcher it into the leg, shoulder, rack, and the saddle. And it's all used for different parts on our menu. The idea is to give the guests a more refined version of a dish, given that this is a very rustic whole animal that's being presented for them. The tenderloin can't really be aged because it's so small. So we remove the tenderloin and then we serve it that day. It's really best at its freshest moment. Certain things are good for dry aging and certain things you just really want to serve right away. He can actually lift it by himself. This is Rick. Rick has been with me for 3 years, since the beginning of the restaurant. I'm lucky enough to have someone like him who's taken over all of our butchery, and he's training the new guys and the younger staff that come in and join us on how do we butcher and how we approach whole animal butchery. So we bring in whole pigs from Western Plains, Australia, and they come in primals. So we have our leg, shoulder, and belly. We usually will dry age the pork for a couple of weeks before we start to butcher it, because as you can see right now, it's just so wet. And ideally, if it's drier, all that flavor is more concentrated. So we source our ducks locally from Malaysia. We try to source as local as possible. Malaysia has some beautiful ducks. Definitely love the flavor of it. We also get the ingredient whole, the feet, the neck, the head, everything, which is a big philosophy for the restaurant of whole animal butchery and using every single part of the ingredient, even the beautiful crispy duck tongue. So we do this process every Wednesday. After we receive the ducks, we age them for 5 days. So first we're gonna just remove the wing. The wing will go to a couple different things. Sometimes it goes to jus. Our new summer menu, we're gonna be using it on the whole duck dish. And then when we're finished, just a nice beautiful crown, and then we're gonna go and age that. It's important that when we age the crown, we're going through the neck and we're opening up the airflow for the carcass. I mean, when it comes to butchery and also with wood fire, experience is so crucial. You know, you could be doing something for a year, but then how often throughout that year are you doing it? Are you butchering every single day in that year? If you are, then you can pick up a lot of stuff in just 1 year. Cooking with wood fire, you need to be around it, in it, experiencing the temperature changes, the variables for many years. All right. So after the whole lamb is dry aged for about 1 or 2 weeks, I'm gonna now butcher it into leg, shoulder, rack, and saddle. And then we're gonna buttermilk brine it for 48 hours. And the buttermilk just tenderizes it, adds a lot of flavor. Of course, because it's a brine, there's salt inside, so it's gonna infuse it with salt and get it nicely seasoned. Just gonna remove the neck. Okay, that's it for the lamb. So here's lamb shoulder, lamb leg. We have the lamb rack, lamb ribs, lamb saddle, and then our lamb trimming that we'll use in our lamb jus. So the entire animal getting served. Hi, morning. How are you? So here we have the short loin that we're gonna hot smoke in here. In the meantime, we're gonna start hanging all of our slow roasted items. So we'll be hanging duck, our bones, even a suckling pig. We have a special request for a suckling pig today, so we're gonna hang that today. It's gonna be a busy, exciting day. So even our fish bones will dry and smoke above the fire, and then we use that in our fish bone jus. So we try to use everything as much as possible. Obviously, we try to maximize flavor, and I truly believe that good flavor takes time. So as you can see now, the fire is raging. A lot of oxygen, a lot of wood. It's only been about 30 minutes since we started it, and it's already crazy. So now we're gonna close it, and then you'll see a lot more smoke coming out of the chimney. And as the smoke comes out of the chimney, that's gonna flavor all the ingredients that we're hanging here. So we dry age our duck breast for a minimum 21 days. So right now what he's doing is we're gonna torch the skin to start that rendering of the fat. And with that rendering of the fat, we get a nice crispy duck breast. The duck fat slowly renders as it hangs for about 4 to 5 hours. So that slow rendering process means that fat just gets thinner and thinner and thinner. And that flavor is beautiful. Right. Even things like cold smoking butter doesn't melt, but it takes on that smoke flavor, so it adds a nice flavor to our sauces. And then we have our pork short loin that's smoking. This will go for about the whole day until it reaches 48 degrees. So this is Anson. Anson is our sommelier for the restaurant. What's up, Anson? How's it going?
Yeah, good. How are you, Chef?
Very, very well. So Anson helps curate the wine list for the restaurant, as well as our digestive trolley. Just looking to have a wine program that's very versatile, matches the flavors of the restaurant.
So in Butcher's Block, we are not only focused on something common like just port, Armagnac or Cognac. We also have a lot of Madeira. So this our restaurant whiskeys. So this is the Eagle Red 10 years from Kentucky, special for our restaurant.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. So lunch today we are standing at 11 packs. First table we have at 12 o'clock. Last table will be at 2 o'clock. That's from my side.
Menu updates. Notice that it says Blackmore Farms Wagyu beef. Okay, so it's the rump, which is from the leg of the cow. It's slow cooked in ambient heat and then marinated in koji as well. We're gonna run this for this week, and then everything else on the imua is as per normal. Dessert, no changes. Chocolate tart for special occasions today. We will be doing a lot of prep and production in the kitchen to get ready for the summer imua launch. Let's have a good service. 1, 2, 3, imua. Fire's going now. Almost ready for lunch service. Start getting ready.
So right in front of you, we'll call this as the ladder. So as you can see, we have execute different kind of the animals, and we are zero wastage philosophy, also a Hawaiian and a wood fire restaurant.
All right, check in 1 poke and 1 whole duck. All right, check in, fire 1 bread and butter. All right, check in 1 poke and 1 whole pork. All right, let's go ahead and fire lamb tacos, please. Yeah, just be careful it doesn't drip on top of here. bringing that ohana feeling into the restaurant, which to me is the epitome of hospitality. And the word aloha gets used a lot in Hawaii. For us, aloha really translates to just giving without expecting anything in return. So our tasting menu is called imua, which means to move forward with strength and spirit, which is the attitude I want every chef and every service team member to have when they approach every day, so that every day I know that my guests are getting the best experience, the best tasting food. Hello, thank you very much for joining us. For your next course, here we have the dry-aged duck. There's 3 different parts of the duck. We have the dry-aged breast, the crispy duck tongue, and the leg that's grilled with Chinese barbecue. And the bones, we actually roast above the fire, and we use that to make our duck shoe. The duck shoe seasoned with a 1990 Madeira.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. All right, so it's the end of lunch service right now, and we're closing down, letting the fire burn down a little bit. And we're getting set up a few things ready for dinner service tonight. So we open up for dinner at 6. The chefs will take a break before then. Now it's all about getting ready for the dinner. Hello. I hope you enjoyed everything.
Everything was great.
Again, bye-bye.
Break time. So we use a lot of dried herbs here in the restaurant. There's a dried curry leaves. We'll use this to smoke. And you'll see the smoke come out of here and really infuse all the flavor around the ingredients. And then here's the leg of lamb. After roasting for 5 hours all day, it's finally ready. It's 6 o'clock for service. Okay, briefing, everybody. All right, Singi, start us off.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Singi.
So dinner tonight, we are currently standing at 16 packs. First sitting, we have 1 table, 4 table at 7, 2 table at second sitting, last table will be 8:15. And yep, I think from my side.
Menu updates. We'll start with the imua. Remember, we're still on the West Holm strip loin for the main course. We really want to try to push this as it increases guest experience. So please recommend this as the signature menu to offer. We do have uni, of course, back on with the beef fat fried manto. Special occasion tonight? Mochi. So we'll do mochi matcha as the special occasion. For the most part, restaurants are slow, but we did a really, really good job last week as far as sales. So try to push that the best you can. This week I know is looking a little slow. So chefs, watch the production. Like every day, you just prep what you need for that day. Everything a la minute if you can. There's no need to get too far ahead, as in the reservations are quite manageable. Thank you very much for a good last week. Because there is growth in the kitchen, just be mindful of firing time will be longer. It'll take us a little bit longer to get to where we need to be. So just please be mindful of that. All right, let's have a good service tonight. 1, 2, 3, imua! So right now we're getting ready for dinner service. We just opened our doors, greeted our first guest. Fires are primed and ready to go. All right, check in 2 tempura, 1 Little Joe, 200 West Holm. To me, wood fire dining is something that is undeniably attractive. I just think it's unique in the fact that you're able to cook things right then and there and then serve it to the guests. And I think a lot of guests really appreciate that. They're adventurous, they want to know about food. We do have a lot of a story behind each dish and the inspiration behind it, but I think it's unique because we're bridging wood fire and Hawaiian cuisine, which is not something that I have actually ever seen in Singapore. Stand by to fire 27, 1 potato, 1 icon. Chicken 2 imua. Chef's table for the 2 ladies. All right, so right now it's the end of dinner service. It's about 9:15. Last order just went out, so we're gonna start taking down the bones for sauces tomorrow. Fire will burn down and we'll start cleaning up. So right now we're straining our chicken jus at the end of the day. So it's the base for all of our sauces, all of our duck jus, lamb jus, pork jus. We use this chicken as the base. And of course we start at the beginning of the day, we let it simmer all day, and then at the end we have a beautiful golden stock. It's a lot harder than buying the powdered chicken stock. Any chef that asks for advice, I'll always tell them to chase the knowledge, not the money. I mean, I worked for so many chefs just for free. I wanted to learn what they were doing. I wanted to immerse myself. When I travel, I would stage and work for free. So by chasing that knowledge, you're able to see the lens of every chef that you're able to interact with. Everybody has a different way of looking at food, approaching food. And if you approach everything with a very humble mindset, you're gonna learn a lot more. If you're looking for just that final paycheck, you might take a job or a position that maybe might pay more money, but might not get you to where you want to be as fast. If you chase the knowledge, I guarantee you'll get there faster. And when you get there, you'll get there in a more authentic way that actually has the foundation and skill that you need to be successful long term.